Welcome students, welcome to Gyan Gurukul e-classes. Today we'll be doing a very important chapter of English grammar, that is the voice change. And today I'll be showing you some basic techniques, some easy techniques of how do you identify an active voice sentence and a passive voice sentence, and in the same manner how can you convert a sentence in the active voice to the passive voice. So before starting with the voice, let me give you a brief description. Why this part is very important. যেতিয়া আমি যিকোনো বস্তু লিখো ইংৰাজী যিকোনো বস্তু লিখো ইংলিশত বা অসমীয়াতে হওক তেতিয়া আমাৰ এই দুটা বস্তু খুব দৰকাৰ এটা হৈছে গ্ৰামাৰ আৰু এটা হৈছে ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজ আৰু যেতিয়া আমি গ্ৰামাৰৰ কথা কওঁ তেতিয়া হলে আমাৰ বহুতখিনি বস্তু আহে তাৰ ভিতৰত এটা very important part হৈছে the voice change. We need to understand how can we convert a sentence from the active voice to the passive voice. Now as I have written over here voice, these are of two types, active voice and passive voice. But for the first time, we will just ignore this part. We'll ignore this part and we'll come back to this later on. First, let us see how can we identify a sentence. আমি প্ৰথম জানিব লাগিব যে এটা বাক্য active voice আছে নে passive voice আছে তাৰ পিছতহে আমি active voice পৰা passive voice কৰিব পাৰিম আৰু passive voice পৰা active voice কৰিব পাৰিম আৰু যাৰ যি confusion থাকে, if you have any confusion regarding this lecture, you can put your comments down in the comment section and you can ask me any question regarding this voice change. So first, as I say, is we need to identify the sentence. We need to understand whether a sentence is in the active voice or whether a sentence is in the passive voice. Now, most of the people I have seen, or most of the students I have seen, they fail to understand whether the sentence is in active voice or whether the sentence is in passive voice. Now, when we will be doing exercises on voice change, we need to convert the sentences. And many a time we see that the sentences are either given in active voice or passive voice. But there are instances when the sentence will be given in passive voice and you need to convert it into active voice. And for that purpose, you need to identify which sentence is in active voice and which sentence is in passive voice. So I'll just rub this. Okay, so for identification of sentences, we'll start with this. For identification of sentences, let me first take an example of sentence. Any sentence, a normal sentence. Suppose, he plays cricket. Now, when I take the example of this sentence, he plays cricket, I'm doing this entire thing presuming that your conception on tense is clear. However, if you are required, we can do a class on tense as well. Now, if we see this sentence, he plays cricket. First of all, the basic concept is that this sentence is in present tense. This sentence is in present tense. And we need to understand that if this sentence is in present tense, it is also in the active voice. Simply remember, when there is a sentence like he plays cricket, this sentence or sentences of such sort are always in the active voice. Now you may ask a question, if this is an active voice, how can we differentiate between an active voice sentence and a passive voice sentence? There is only one basic formula which is very easy to remember, and from that formula you can clearly identify whether a sentence is in active or passive voice. Now, he plays cricket. Let me convert this sentence into passive voice. Now, he plays cricket. If I convert it into passive voice, it becomes cricket is played by him. Now, when I gave you the first sentence, he plays cricket, I said it was in active voice. Now, I have converted this sentence into passive voice. Now, if you clearly remember, I can write the sentence again. The sentence was, he plays cricket. Now, what is the basic difference you see between this sentence and that sentence? The basic difference is that in order to identify a sentence in active voice or passive voice, we have to focus on this by. This by is very crucial when we have to identify whether a sentence is in active voice or passive voice. Whenever you see that there is a by written in any sentence, whenever there is a by written in any sentence, you need to understand that that sentence is in passive voice. যেতিয়া আমি দেখিম যে যিকোনো এটা বাক্যত যদি বাইটো থাকে তে আমি বুজিব লাগিব যে সেই সেন্টেন্সটো বা সেই বাক্যশাৰী passive voice আছে আৰু লগালগ আমি হেতু active voice দিব লাগিব কিন্তু যদি আমি এই সেন্টেন্সটো লৈ মন কৰো এই বাক্যটো লৈ মন কৰো তেতিয়ালে ইয়াত কিন্তু কোনো বাই বোলা শব্দ নাই এই বাই বোলা শব্দটো নাই গতিকে এই সেন্টেন্সটো হৈছে active voice আৰু ইয়াৰ যোনটো আমি passive কৰো এটো আহিব cricket is played by him. So the basic difference in order to identify an active voice sentence and a passive voice sentence is basically depends on this thing which is known as by. So I guess that is clear as to how you can identify a sentence regarding whether it is in active voice or whether it is in passive voice. Now, since I take it that this part is clear for you, we will move to now voice change, the basic, the very important thing in English grammar. Okay, so when we go for voice changes, first of all we need to understand two basic rules for voice change. In voice change, you need to understand that the two basic rules are: in voice change, either the subject becomes the object or the object becomes the subject. Now to clear this part, again let us take the example of the sentence we gave earlier. আমি যোনটো বাক্য আগতে লৈছিলো, he plays cricket. It is active voice কারণ ইয়াতে বাই শব্দটো নাই গতিকে this is in active voice. Convert কৰিলে cricket is played by him. Into passive voice. Passive voice. Now, two basic rules. যেনেকৈ মই কৈছিলো যে subject to হৈ যায় object, object to হৈ যায় subject. এই সেন্টেন্সটো যদি আমি মন কৰো, এই সেন্টেন্সটো যদি আমি মন কৰো, ইয়াতে যদি আমি ভাগ কৰো সেন্টেন্সটো, he to হল subject. আমি সবাই এইটো কথা জানো. Plays to হল verb আৰু cricket to হল object. ঠিক আছে? এতিয়া যদি আমি passive voice বস্তুটো চাও, ইয়াতে কিন্তু cricket to whole subject, is to is a helping verb, play to is a main verb, main verb bole kobo para idu main verb by aru him to jonto ami iar pora etu convert korisu aru etu hoi gol object. Difference to tumaloke jodi mon kora iare saba iare jonto object mane jonto passive voice ami object use korisilu cricket ei object to jaigane kintu iate hoi gol subject. Similarly, ইয়াতে যোনটো আমি subject use কৰিছিলো he, এই subject টো কিন্তু ইয়াতে যায় হৈ গল object. So এই যোনটো মই কৈছিলো, the thing which I say that the two basic rules is that subject becomes object and object becomes subject. So in order to make you understand this concept, I've given you this example which says he plays cricket active voice, cricket is played by him passive voice. Here in the active voice, he stands as a subject, whereas cricket stands as the object. However, in the passive voice, the cricket stands as the subject and he converts into him and turns into subject. So these are the two basic rules which you have to remember in order to master yourselves in voice change. So students, this was the introductory part on voice change. I showed you how you can convert the sentences, the two basic rules to convert a sentence. Number two, I also showed you how you can identify the sentences, whether the sentence is in active voice or whether the sentence is in passive voice. In the next video or in the next lecture, we'll be doing how to convert those sentences. Like if the sentence is in active voice simple past, then how can you convert it into passive voice simple past? And similarly for all the three tenses. And if you have liked the video or if you feel the video was good, kindly give a like, subscribe and do share the videos with your friends for the benefit of your friends as well. Thank you very much.